Welcome to Soothing Saturday, where we kick off our training shoes and drink our favourite beverage. That's way too hot. I'm Shifu Pain, and today we're doing some history. The Shaolin Temple is famed far and wide for its culture, devotion to Buddhism, and oh lord, where did these tourists come from? The myth of the Shaolin Temple is one of a class of great warrior monks who do nothing but train constantly and are seemingly able to accomplish great physical feats. But how did it get that way? What caused the Shaolin Temple to become the cultural hub that it is today? And who is this Bodhidharma fellow?
In 495 AD, during the Wei dynasty, when China was ruled by Emperor Wen, a Buddha known as Buddhabhadra, or Batu, came to China from India to practice. The emperor liked what he saw and offered Batu a position within court, to which Batu said, "Nah mate," and instead asked for some land to build on. Wen agreed, and Buddhabhadra had a monastery built in the Henan province, specifically by Mount Song. This temple was named Shaolin, meaning small forest, to reference the vegetation it was surrounded by. Interestingly, the temple was surrounded by 5 mountains, including Song, which gave the temple a greater amount of privacy.
Man, this already sounds like the stereotypical ancient monastery in the mountains with ancient secrets of ancientness.
About 30 years later, so in 525 AD, another Buddha, known as Bodhidharma, came to tour China from India. There are accounts which say that Bodhidharma was 150 years old at the time, but that's all conjecture. When visiting the emperor, now Wu, let's just say the emperor wasn't happy. The emperor asked Bodhidharma how much merit the emperor had earned for his studies of scripture and the conduct he had accrued, to which Bodhidharma said,
"None whatsoever."
Emperor Wu then asked for the greatest noble truth, and Bodhidharma replied with emptiness, which had no nobility whatsoever. And finally, pissed off, Emperor Wu asked Bodhidharma just who he thought he was, and he straight up answered with, "I don't know."
But in actuality, Bodhidharma was a Zen Buddhist rather than a regular Buddhist, which tends to incorporate more Taoist philosophy into his teachings.
Bodhidharma after this travelled to the Shaolin Temple to teach Zen Buddhism. The abbot of the temple at the time, Fang Chang, coolest name ever, refused admission to Bodhidharma. After this, Bodhidharma climbed into a cave to meditate for 9 years, facing the wall the whole time and leaving an impression which can now be found on the temple grounds. While he meditated, he did home workouts to keep fit. And when was finally allowed admission to the temple, he saw just how sickly or out of shape the monks there were. He taught the monks simple exercises to stay in shape so that they could meditate for longer periods of time and sustain their practice for longer. This exercise was mixed with some martial arts the monks who had been soldiers knew and became the basis of Shaolin Kung Fu.
What's interesting about this is that their martial practice was not explicitly for defense or for fighting, but it was to better practice their religion. They were monks first, warriors second.
Their martial skills were tested when bandits sought to raid the temple over the following years after Bodhidharma left the temple, leading to them thoroughly kicking the collected asses of said bandits, and leading to the word spreading of their insane fighting ability. What also needs to be considered is the ethics the monks had when fighting. Not betraying their master for one, but also to not seriously harm individuals by precisely targeting certain areas of the body. There was a slight blip in 574 AD when Emperor Wudi banned Buddhism and had the Shaolin Temple destroyed. Don't worry, Emperor Jingwen made it better. During the early Tang dynasty, a band of 13 Shaolin monks aided in the rescue of the emperor's son, Li Shimin, from a rebelling army. When Li Shimin became emperor, he praised the Shaolin Temple with a high Yelp review, leading to the temple garnering a massive following, leading to more people practicing the martial art than ever before. But crucially, in order to practice, you needed to be a Buddhist, still highlighting the religious connection.
Just as a quick aside, Li Shimin is actually name-dropped in the Journey to the West as being the Tang emperor that Sen Shuang's on his journey to fetch the scriptures from the Buddha. In fact, this whole segment sounds like something from the Journey to the West. If one of those monks was secretly an immortal magical monkey in disguise, I would not have been surprised.
Then everything changed when the Qing loyalists attacked. In 1644, during a turnover from the Ming to the Qing dynasties, those loyal to the Ming dynasty used the Shaolin Temple as a refuge, leading to the oncoming Qing soldiers destroying the temple as well as many pieces of treasure, as well as crucially 1,000 years of knowledge, in the form of scrolls and books.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
While Shaolin practice continued in sequence until the communist takeover, it never really recovered from such a gaping hole in knowledge.
And this just really pissed me off when I first found out about it. Can you just imagine how much further the martial art would be today if not for this?
We had to censor the rest of this recording. Thank you for your patience. When the communist government took over in China just after World War II, all religious practice was banned, including Shaolin practice. Masters and practitioners scattered themselves to countries such as Thailand and Taiwan to continue practicing. But due to a modern lifestyle, less people were inclined to begin dedicating themselves to Shaolin. By about the 80s, after release of the 1982 film The Shaolin Temple, cultural interest was reignited for the temple on the front of tourism, as many wanted to tour such a mythical site. The Shaolin Temple was allowed to open its doors again, and monks were allowed to wear their traditional robes again. But due to fear of uprising from a clearly insane martial art just based on reputation, traditional Shaolin was replaced with Wushu, a far less aggressive martial art which prioritizes entertainment over combat, as well as unifying a martial art from a multi-branched system of differing forms of combat and individual stylings into a standardized art. On a better note, knowledge of Chinese martial arts was open to the public, and especially to the Western world, leading to more accessibility to an art form which had previously been reserved for natives to China.
To sum up, Shaolin began as a religious practice which just happened to incorporate combat into it, spiraling into one of the most revered classes of warriors to exist in the Eastern world, only to then be reduced down to what it exists as today. And while it's unfortunate that Shaolin practice has been reduced to what it exists as now, I am still personally glad that it does still exist in some form, and who knows, perhaps Shaolin could develop back into the system that it was 1,000 years ago. We'll just have to wait to find out. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a new video. And until next time, peace be with you.